How does ecological competition shape species? Have you ever wondered how different species manage to coexist in the same environment? One of the key factors at play is ecological competition. This occurs when organisms or species need the same limited resources, like food, water, or shelter. Competition can happen within a species, known as intraspecific competition, or between different species, referred to as interspecific competition. Since resources are limited, competition can lower the survival and reproductive success of all competing species. So, how does this competition shape species? First, it drives natural selection and adaptation. Species that are better at acquiring resources tend to survive and reproduce more successfully. Over time, this leads to natural selection favoring traits that help in resource acquisition. For example, a species might develop better foraging skills or more efficient ways to use available resources. Next, we have niche differentiation and resource partitioning. To avoid direct competition, species may evolve to use different resources or occupy different ecological roles, known as niches. This allows similar species to coexist by minimizing overlap in their resource use. For instance, two bird species might feed on the same tree but at different heights or times of day, allowing them to thrive without competing directly. Another important concept is the competitive exclusion principle. This principle states that two species with identical niches cannot coexist indefinitely. One will outcompete and exclude the other. This principle shapes where species can live and how communities are structured, as less competitive species may need to adapt, migrate, or face local extinction. Competition also plays a role in community structure and biodiversity. It influences which species can coexist and how they share resources, ultimately determining the makeup of an ecosystem. This can lead to evolutionary diversification as species adapt to different niches. There are different mechanisms of competition. Interference competition involves direct interactions, like fighting or territorial behavior. Exploitation competition happens indirectly when species consume shared resources, reducing availability for others. Apparent competition occurs when two species share a predator, affecting each other's populations without directly competing for resources. Understanding ecological competition is essential for explaining patterns of species diversity. It also guides conservation efforts. For example, managing habitats to maintain resource availability or reducing competition from invasive species can support native biodiversity. In essence, ecological competition shapes species by driving adaptations, influencing niche use, determining coexistence, and structuring communities. This dynamic interaction is fundamental in ecology and environmental science, revealing how species interact and evolve within ecosystems.